There is no doubt that the departure of Giannis from Milwaukee would shake up the entire NBA world, but it's all written in the stars. The situation is now more than obvious. Lillard won't play for the majority of the next season, if not the entirety of it, while Lopez and Portis being free agents at the end of the year is a massive worry for the Greek Freak when it comes to continuing his tenure with Milwaukee. Elaborating further on this, Charania wrote, "The two-time NBA MVP has not made any firm decisions on his Bucks' future, but for the first time in his career, Giannis is open-minded about exploring whether his best long-term fit is remaining in Milwaukee or playing elsewhere," league sources told ESPN. Any conversations surrounding the perennial All-NBA superstar and 2021 champion start primarily with where he believes his long-term future lies, and whether there is a franchise outside of Milwaukee that is sensible for him. So, it's a no-brainer decision for him to seek a future elsewhere. The Bucks don't own a first-round pick in 2025, which means they cannot help him with a young talent at the point guard position, and they don't have the resources to bring in any big superstar, considering the fact they have to pay Giannis a whopping $55 million in the upcoming year. Yes, it's not a guarantee that a trade is going to happen, but according to Shams Charania from ESPN, Antetokounmpo is ready to start listening to offers from other teams regarding his future. In the past, Giannis signed max deals with the Bucks, once in 2020 and once in 2023. In both of these instances, it was believed that Giannis would explore other options, but it turned out to be exactly the opposite. It worked out extremely well for him and for his team, winning the chip back in 2021 after trailing down 2-0. Now, the situation is vastly different, and knowing that the Bucks don't control any of their first-rounders until 2031, and having Cardio Kuzma on their roster while trading their injury-prone Middleton, the picture is kind of different. They also cannot count on Drew Holiday, who went on to win one more championship in his career after the stint with Milwaukee with the Celtics. All in all, the future between these two does not look bright, and the Bucks might be smart to explore the trade options for Giannis while he still has value on the market. Let's not fool ourselves. He is at his prime, and at the age of 30, he is still one of the most dominant players in the league. The support and the role players are the ones who need to step up their game, if that is somehow a possibility. But I highly doubt that Giannis is going to receive this type of help in the foreseeable future with the Bucks. The only thing that the Bucks are now hoping will remain as a solid argument in their talks with Giannis is the promise he gave not that long ago, saying that he wouldn't want to leave the team before he wins a second championship. Elaborating further on this, Giannis said, "Me not having a second championship, I look back at my career and everybody can say, oh, incredible career, active Hall of Famer, first ballot, whatever. But me, my personal goal, if I am not able to help my team win a second ring, I'm letting down myself." Again, we are talking about a man who averaged 30.4 points and 11.9 rebounds in the 2024/25 season, and the problem is not in him. Against the Pacers in the first round of the playoffs, he became the only player in the history of the NBA postseason to average 33 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and a block per game. Surprisingly enough, the Bucks lost 4-1, and while the Pacers have gone on to showcase very strong gameplay against the Cavaliers, the first-seeded team in the East, we've been used to seeing Milwaukee dominate in the postseason. Now, that might be a forgotten tale, and the situation is changing dramatically for Milwaukee. They might focus on the future beyond Giannis and control the picks that are coming in the following years, because even if they do receive a healthy version of Dame in the 2026/27 season, it's a huge question mark as to how much he can play coming from a torn Achilles at the age of 36. So, which teams seem to be the best suitors for Giannis? The no-brainer choice would be the Spurs. They have Wemby, a centre who is dominating the paint with ease, and if you pair him up with the Greek Freak, we are going to receive a killer duo that would be backed with the 2024/25 Rookie of the Year, Stephon Castle, as well as the explosive guard De'Aaron Fox. Anything else, however, will be subject to a trade, which is why the Spurs might have to pay a hefty price for bringing Giannis to their own rows. According to Brian Windhorst from ESPN, the Spurs would be smart to give up a big fraction of their future in order to receive a player with whom they can go deep in the playoffs and potentially become the ultimate force to be beaten in the Western Conference. Elaborating further on this trade, Windhorse said, "The other one is the Spurs. They have 2 picks in this lottery. Now combined, there's only a 30% chance of getting into the top 4. What if one of them does? What if both of them do? All of a sudden, you've got San Antonio with Wembanyama, De'Aaron Fox, and potentially a game-changing draft pick with the Rookie of the Year, Stephon Castle, sitting there as well. The Spurs own a lot of draft picks, but apart from that, they own players that the Bucks can use as a huge support in their rotation, such as Harrison Barnes and Keldon Johnson. With a roster of Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Victor Wembanyama, I highly doubt there is any team in the West that can tackle both the defensive and the offensive presence of this team. But if you are Giannis, you might want to pair up with a superstar, and we do know that he praises the game of Luka Doncic. The Lakers are in desperate need of a highly versatile player like Giannis who can help them with the rebounding issues. In the first-round blowout against the Timberwolves, the Lakers saw themselves being bullied by Rudy Gobert in the post, so it's definitely something that needs to be addressed sooner rather than later. According to Howard Beck, Giannis has already narrowed his list, and there are 3 teams that represent high-value markets for the Greek Freak if he were to leave Milwaukee sooner rather than later. Talking about this on the Zach Lowe show, Beck said, "I poked around a little bit a few days ago, and the initial thing I got from one person was just like some rumblings that it's already just the big cities. One of the LA teams, or one of the New York teams, or maybe Miami. Not a big market, but a glamour market, mid-size market." Now, the bad news for the Lakers is that they might not have the assets to bring Giannis because they do not own a lot of their future picks. And if Giannis were to arrive at the Lakers, the salary cap would be tied to him, LeBron, and Luka. That would obviously mean that LeBron would be smart enough to pick up his player option on his deal or re-up a new contract this offseason that would give the team a bit of breathing space when it comes to bringing in another role player who would be pivotal in a deep playoff run. So, will it be the uprising Spurs or the promising Lakers? It's up to Giannis to tell, but as of now, the situation stands as it is. Talks between him and the Bucks are going to be held, and the situation is going to develop in a way that won't be very satisfying for the Milwaukee franchise. With all this in mind, where do you think the Greek Freak will end up? Let us know in the comments below, and once you do that, make sure to click on the video that appears on your screen right now.